Hey, everybody. Where am I looking? Welcome to Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. Today, boy, you are so in the right place.
So are
I
we.
can't even begin to tell you. We have none other than world famous Jess Harnell.
Hey, how are you?
And what's that?
Better
Is
yet.
Cara there too? Why, yes.
Yes, she
Hi.
is.
She is.
Jess and Cara is one word for those who don't know.
Yes, that's so true.
I love that.
Oh, Jess and Cara, that's right. Like
That's
Sonny
it,
and
buddy.
Cher.
Indeed, man, but without the mustache, at least today.
Yes. And everybody's cuter and more talented.
Thank you. And taller. She's even taller. Anyway,
Infinitely better singer.
God bless you. You
Just
know, Jim,
throwing that in.
Quick anecdote on that. They made a Sonny and Cher biopic years ago called And the Beat Goes On, the Sonny and Cher story. It was actually pretty good, but they hired me to do the singing, as you and I have been wont to do, for the Sonny Bono guy.
Wow.
Only session I ever did in my life, folks, where the direction was, Jess, can you sing a little worse? For real.
Wow.
It sounds too good, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, never heard that before, but that's
Jeez, yeah.
I got to add another thing because I'm kind of excited, and yes, I know those of you who know me know I'm usually excited. This is such a thrill. This is such a thrill for me because quick anecdote, and I'm going to say this 10 times. I don't want to embarrass him, even though I'm gonna. My first animated cartoon gig that I ever did. Okay, I mean, originally I did the voices for Splash Mountain, but that was a one-off. But my first episodic cartoon was for a show called Darkwing Duck.
Yes, it was.
And I walked into that room. This is before Animaniacs, this is before anything, bro. And I walked into the room, and I just recorded there yesterday.
I remember it well.
Yeah.
At B&B.
Yeah, that's
B&B recordings.
I walk over there, and he's sitting on the end. Okay, and I didn't know. Listen, all you cartoon guys out there, you know who everybody is. I didn't know who anybody was except like the bass player for Def Leppard. I didn't know who anybody else was.
Yeah.
So I walk in, and Jimmy's sitting over there, and there's an empty chair. So I sit next to him. I say, hey, man, you know, what's your name? He says, Jim. I said, Jim, I'm Jesse. Nice to meet you, man. So we sit there, and we start doing the thing. And I'm listening to Jim, and he's playing multiple characters. And I'm sitting next to him. And I've always done voices ever since I was little. Like you.
Sure.
But he starts doing his thing. And if you could have like looked at my thought process, it was, oh, you got to be really good to do this stuff. and that opinion has only increased over the years, man.
Oh, well, thank you. That's
true.
amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you would know because you're way beyond really good.
Thank God bless you, man.
Hooray.
We're just
hooray.
a lucky bunch of guys, man. Hallelujah.
I know. Ain't it the
I'm
truth?
lucky too.
Yeah, you're pretty lucky too.
Yes,
I mean,
you
look
are.
who we're hanging out with.
I know. That's a lot of lots of ruck.
Yeah, that's pretty good too, right?
Yeah, that sure is. It sure is.
Yeah, man.
So I know you've been doing lots of cons here and there lately. And do you get a kick out of those? Because I sure do.
You know what, man? Well, first of all, again, Jimmy, Jimmy going into a ComicCon is sort of like the Pope visiting a Catholic church in New York City.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
because
They
just love him. Well, babe, they love him so much.
I
you
know.
And,
But we've seen Jim on the road,
Yeah, of
and
course.
everyone.
It's something I do with my mouth.
it's something you do. Good night, everybody. But in any event, they love him out there. And yes, we do. I do have a great time. And I'll tell you, man, and this is not lip service, and you know me well enough, I don't really do lip service. But the best thing about the cons is that we have an opportunity to hopefully encourage and maybe inspire some of the people who've been kind enough to follow what we do for as long as they have.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, I'll tell you a quick anecdote. I don't think I've ever shared this one with you, but it's really fun, and it sort of sums up my whole con experience. I was doing a con somewhere in the world. I don't remember exactly where, but I don't remember where I was this morning, so that's not saying
okay.
much. I'm signing into Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
guy's
yeah.
what is happening, So anyway, I was at this con, and I went in the green room, which is where they give you snacks and stuff like that, and then poke you until you get the hell back out there. So I'm in the green room, having something to eat, and there's a lot of TV stars and very important people milling around. And about 15 feet away from me at this other table was a very well-known TV star whose name I will not reveal. Anyway, I'll tell you
Shall
later.
I do it?
No, don't do it.
Shall
She
I
loves
tell
doing
you?
this.
Yeah, well.
No, don't. And he's sitting across from me, and he was like staring at me, right? And I don't intimidate very easily, and I'm like, why is he staring at me? So I go, hey man, what's up? And he goes, hey, how you doing? I said, good. What's on your mind? Because I could tell he had something on.
he was thinking
And
something.
he goes, I'm sitting across from you out there. And I said, yeah, I've seen you. And he said, yeah. And he goes, you got a big line, right? And I said, well, thank God, man. I said, I think it's because they think there's like a water ride or a log ride up at the front, and they're so disappointed when they get up there and it's just me. But what are you going to do? It's very nice. Right? Well, and he goes, yeah. He goes, notice you take a lot of time with them, right? And I go, well, yeah. I said, I figure if they're going to wait 2 hours to say hello to you, the least you can do is give him a couple minutes, you know? And he said, wouldn't you rather make more money, right? And listen, to his credit, I get it where he's coming from, because the more you sign, the more you take pictures, the more money you're going to have at the end of the day. Well, what I said was, and it wasn't premeditated at all, but I go, I'd rather make a difference.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Good answer.
Yeah, it was cool, right? But the punchline to the whole thing, he just kind of went, oh, okay. And that was the end of the conversation.
Oh, that's right.
But
That's
I'll
funny.
tell you what was neat, bro, is over the course of the next 2 or 3 days, I had several bona fide TV stars and all their fabulousness come over to me and say, hey, I heard what you said to so-and-so.
Oh, wow, that's great.
I'm taking more time with them.
That's great.
And that's the beauty part of it, because
Yeah.
you know, you, man, Jim has the distinctions, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but one of the characters Jim does is Winnie the
something.
Yeah, Winnie the something. And
Winnie
apparently
the-
a lot of people have been sleeping with Jim for years, and I don't
Oh,
mean in
boy.
that way. No, I don't mean in that way. I mean they're cuddling Jim, and Jim is this essential part of their lives and their childhoods.
Yeah, that's-
So when they get in front of him and he starts doing that voice, man, it's like they're. The magic power that we all have to some degree, and you certainly exemplify it, is that when we do what we do,
Well, yeah.
people become 8 again.
Yes. They just.
You know? Yeah, isn't it
Yeah.
beautiful?
It really is. It
And what,
really
what
is.
a gift! What a gift we have been given that
Yeah.
we can do that for people.
It's so
Yeah.
cute. We've seen Marines, like
Oh, yeah.
big guys,
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the con. They kind of go back to, like you said, being 6 or 8.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a special, you know, when another pat response I
magical.
have, bro, is
Yeah.
when people go, hey man, you know, our favorite line that and I know you hear it all the time,
Yep.
dude, you know, you were my childhood.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And I always go, man, I can't believe your parents let me in the house.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
I always say, well, I hope I didn't mess you up too much.
well, yeah,
You
maybe
know,
a little
I
bit.
mean, yeah.
No, but I love doing them, man, and I love it. It's always a huge bonus when
Oh, yeah.
when you're there. You
Oh,
know?
well, thanks.
'Cause-
Same here.
Thank you, buddy.
Same
'Cause
here.
We you know what's really great too, you guys, about doing what we do is it's not. Don't ever kid yourself and say about anything that it is you want to do, oh, it's so hard to break in, it's so hard to break in, it's so hard to break in. He broke in, I broke in. If
Yeah.
we broke in, you can break in. But the point is,
Yeah.
a lot of people, you know, there's a few of us who've had the rare blessing of doing this for as long as we have and making this kind of impact. And what's an additional kind of sidebar blessing is when they become part of your life. Like this guy is
Yeah.
a dear friend of mine. We've shared in a lot of big events in each other's
Oh,
lives,
yeah.
both good and bad. You know, we've seen each other grow up figuratively and literally, and I just couldn't be happier about it, man.
Oh, yeah. Same here.
Thanks, pal.
Same here.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's all that stuff used to get us kicked out of class paid off.
Now we bought a house, Jim.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, and we get to hang out with Chris.
I know.
So that's good. We got that going for
Yeah,
us.
you know, and now after meeting Chris's mom, I see where he gets the good looks.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know what I
Very
love
true.
about Chris is Chris has that really low resonant kind of thing.
Yes, he does.
Talk.
Like you command attention, man. See, like if I walked in, you went, okay, sit over there. It wouldn't have been quite the same. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
That's right.
I felt like I was
Yes.
dealing with somebody much more important than we are when you started talking.
True, true, true.
Hot.
Oh, now you're hot. You
Yeah,
see?
now we're-
You see? A minute ago, she was saying how she's constantly cold. She is, man. She, you know, one time we went up to Alaska to see
We
the
don't
Northern
need
Lights.
to have this conversation.
We're in an igloo, and she's like, "Oh, I'm burning up." No, she was all right.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Look, Chris is
There we
on it,
go.
man. Chris is
All
on it.
right.
Are you really hot?
I don't know. Yeah, a little bit.
That's amazing.
Feel my leg.
I would love to. Jim's thinking, well, by the
Okay.
way, speaking of that,
We
here's,
edit that bit.
here's a little anecdote.
Oh, boy.
Here's one while Chris is adjusting the
Oh,
temperature. I
wait.
got Jim.
Oh, I know. I
you
think
shouldn't have
I
invited
wonder
me.
if I
Hey,
wonder if I know where
This
this
is the
going.
thing, okay? So Jim and I,
Yes.
before he met his lovely
Before
wife,
we were-
and
yes.
before I fell madly
You know
in
what's
love with this
coming,
this
right?
beautiful
Yes, I think
creature.
so.
Yeah.
We were single at
Yes.
the same time, which can be dangerous.
Can
Me
be.
and Jim being single in the same zip code at the same time could have
Yeah.
been dangerous.
Yeah, we walked in and there was a soundtrack. We walked down, 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 down.
Indeed, man. And we lowered, we went like this. We had these on and we went like that. Look at it. Let me tell you something, baby.
Yeah.
So check it out. So
Dog
Jim,
day.
though, Jim has a secret weapon.
Yes.
Okay, because whenever Jim would be chatting up some young lady or whatever, saying hello or whatever, I'd come over and like a good wingman, I'd say, Jim, does she know, what you do? And oh, I don't know, man. And I'd say, listen, my buddy's going to do something special for you. And he's going to whisper in your ear, so just shut your eyes and let him take you someplace nice, right? And they'd say, oh, okay. And they shut their eyes. And Jim would say something like,
I hope your day is just as sweet us, honey.
Okay. See,
Because
even
you
me,
are too.
I want to sit on
Yes.
his lap.
Yeah.
But these women, they coagulated into like pools of butter.
Little
so I
puddles.
began to call him, get this is one of mine, Pooh Hefner, ladies
Yes,
and gentlemen.
that's right.
Pooh Hefner, right there. I saw it in action, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, to your credit, I would see you. We'd be in the restaurant, and you'd
Yeah.
be over there talking to some really unattractive girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I thought, well, he's obviously showing pity, or
No, you had it backwards.
he was showing something.
Yeah, showing something.
Anyway, and he would say, "Give her a little bit of poo," and I would go
Give her
over
a
there.
bit of.
Yeah, come on.
My friend says that you're just as sweet as honey. and
Drop the mic, man.
Then my favorite thing was, and it was always a portent of good things to come, and she would go,
Yeah. They'd wiggle. They did. They did.
when they would do the,
They would do the wiggle.
No, it's the face. Do it again.
and I thought, okay,
Oh
my
my
work here is
God.
done.
That's
See, you're getting the real
fantastic.
stuff here on Tuned In with
I
Jim
love
Cummings,
that.
folks. These are the real
These are
stories.
the real
You don't get
stories.
this stuff anywhere else.
No,
I never
you
had
don't.
the poo whisper
Oh,
to
the
get you.
Pooh Whisperer. Oh, yeah, man.
You
Because
know?
let me tell you
He
something.
was never.
The poo whisperer.
When
I
you're
know
out
the
there,
poo
no,
whisper, I know what it
no,
is.
babe. When you're out there in the trenches, you need all the advantages you can get. And let me tell you something. When you got Winnie the frickin' Pooh in your back pocket,
Yeah.
you use that. But I will say, and Jim, I'm sure you can relate to this too. It's like, when the right person showed up. When I met Cara, man, I'd been actively single for 4 years, and I was the only guy in LA who was really looking for a commitment. I really wanted to find the girl and be done. And the night that we went
congratulations,
out, I know,
by the way.
hallelujah, thank you again.
Yeah.
So the night we went on our first date, I said, "You want to do this?" And I'd never done anything like that in my life, and we've been together ever since. And all
Yeah.
that stuff, all that little black book stuff, and the playing the field.
Oh,
thing.
I got rid of that straight away.
No, you didn't need to. I did it for you, man. I buried that stuff in
you
the
did.
backyard.
Got
you
it
know.
out of the trash.
But you did?
Yes.
Good, man. I hope you
I'm
made a laugh
telling
from that on eBay.
Peggy.
And then I met Peggy, and then I put it back.
Then you
in.
put it back in the Well, Jim, anyway, don't get me started. More stories.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah. But Jess, tell me about everything from Rock Sugar, from all the way on down to what is the latest? Are we doing anything musical right now other than being fabulous and yourself?
Yeah, man. God bless you for asking. So another parallel we share is that Jim is a great musician, great singer. Never at sessions when back in the good old days when we recorded
Yes.
together. Jim would sit next to me with a pair of the drumsticks,
drumsticks,
and
yeah.
he'd
I can't
always.
believe I don't have
I know, always with the drumsticks. Great drummer, great singer. In fact, you know what I always thought was funny, and you probably had the same experience. When I was kind of new to the business, they used to do benefits and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, and the very first one I ever went to, I got up and I sang "Open Arms" by Journey, right? And people came up to me, our contemporaries and people who work in the voiceover field, who knew nothing about my musical stuff, were like, "Man, I know you said you could sing. I didn't know you could sing like that.
like that.
And you're the same
Yeah.
thing. You're the same
Yeah.
thing. Because
Oh.
I think, no, it is, man. I think that people, when they hear, oh, the guy that does Winnie the Pooh, the guy that does Wacko ad infinitum, go, oh, he sings. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Right, but they
there
don't
is
realize.
that.
And then
I know exactly what you mean.
Then we had the gift. Check this out. How's this for a super group? Because we became fans of each other's work as well as being great buddies, we kind of formed an ipso facto band where we would play at these charity things for good causes and stuff like that. And it was me and you, Billy West, Kevin Michael Richardson, Joe Lala, and is there somebody I'm forgetting? I think that was it.
Was
right?
Debbie Derryberry in there?
That was
somewhere?
in the Tasmaniacs.
That was in the Tasmaniacs,
This was the
okay.
second band where all we did was like Motown stuff. Remember that?
Yeah.
We did like Get Ready and
Yes.
and all those
kind of a
class-
medley.
Yeah, we did all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff, and it was just such
Bring
a
it back.
yeah, we should bring
Yeah.
it back. Well, he can still bring it.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But as far as the band, very quickly, look, I'm breaking the equipment, Chris. I'll take care of that later.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Well, you got another one over there. You're all right. Anyway, no, check it out. Those who don't know, I know you'll never believe that I've been in bands before.
Yeah, hard to believe,
Looking
'cause-
at me, you're thinking that guy.
I could see accountant.
Yeah, me too.
You know, that one's all. But that's too easy.
But let me tell you something, you guys. It's so good that I've made a living doing what we do because I have no qualifications to do anything in the real world
Right.
whatsoever. But a few years ago, on a goof, I said to my great friend Chuck Duran, who is also a friend of yours and admirer of yours, I said, you know, it'd be funny, man. It'd be funny if there was like a 80s hair metal band that got stranded on a desert island at the end of the 80s and got brainwashed by 80s pop music until they thought that pop was metal and metal was pop. And he goes, well, what do you mean? How would that work? And I said, I don't know. Like, you could play Enter Sandman by Metallica, but I could sing, because the chord changes are kind of similar, I could sing Don't Stop Believin' over the Metallica song, and we could do like a mashup. And he's like, that wouldn't work. And they tried to go, actually, that kind of would work.
Yeah.
So we did it as a goof. The thing frickin' took off like
insane.
It's like a rocket.
You guys
bro.
were astonishing.
Thank you, man. We got to open up, you guys, seriously, we got to open up shows for Aerosmith and AC/DC and Motley Crue and Def Leppard and Linkin Park and all these like luminaries whose posters we had.
And they took you to Europe.
Yeah, they took us to Europe a couple times, man.
What the hell?
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah,
like,
why
please
wouldn't
take us to Europe. So they
Yeah.
did. And it was just such a fun thing, because what we basically did is we took material that everybody knows by heart, but did it in a new way. And we just last year, I think it was, we released the second album. The first one we had to stop selling because of a lawsuit, but that's what everything worked out in the end. We're all here, we're all fine. And the second one came out and did amazingly well again, and we couldn't be prouder of it. If you guys like 80s music, go to YouTube, put in the words Rock Sugar, and I promise you're gonna dig it if you like.
Do
that
it
stuff.
right now.
Yeah, if I wasn't in that band,
Do it
I'd
right
love that
now.
band. It's so much fun. So check that out. So yes, we're
So
still
there you
doing
go.
that. Next year, I think we're gonna do some live shows again. But I find myself, Jim, and I don't know if you're of the same mind. You know, we've been doing this for so long. These days, what I really love doing, man, is just chilling out, hanging with my girl, going for walks, watching movies, relaxing, and stuff like that. So the idea of like packing up, I mean, I know with the con thing, but packing up suitcases and hitting the road for extended periods of time doesn't have the same luster that it did years ago.
Yeah.
You know? But-
Been there, done that.
Yeah, exactly. But
You know.
I still dig it, and it's not over. And thank God, you know, I can still do that stuff like you can. And because sometimes, you know, the years are not kind to the things that we do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my
Well,
old.
you take good care of your pipes, though.
I try, man. I
know
try.
you
But
do.
you know, but my old doc, did you ever, I don't know who your throat doc is. My old doc was a guy named Dr. Ed Cantor, who was like the throat doc to the stars. His office looked like a record label because there were nothing but platinum albums.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I've been to him.
And you may have over the
Beverly
years.
Hills?
You're fantastic. Yes,
Yeah.
Beverly
Yeah.
Hills. The greatest of the great.
Cedars, I think.
Yeah. So one day
Yeah.
I went in there to see him, and what he used to say whenever he'd look at me when I get beat up, because, you know, like I'd say once every couple of years my voice takes a vacation without me. You know what I mean? You know, it just sort of goes, you know what?
I
I'm good.
remember once.
Yes.
I do remember once.
You were around
yeah,
for that, man.
I was, yeah.
Dude, check this out, you guys. The best thing to do if you have voice problems is just to be quiet, which is hard under the best of circumstances. Happened to me, though, before texting. Okay? And I was living alone at the time, and I couldn't speak for 6 weeks because I wanted to avoid surgery. And I did. But, man, that was a weird life experience, bro. Yeah, 6 weeks. Living by yourself.
I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. Because we've been around each other for so long,
sure.
you know, that you never know. But anyway, I go see Cantor. He would have me stick out my tongue and say, and he'd lean back in his chair and he'd go, "You're doing that Cirque du Soleil crap again, aren't you?" Because of the gymnastics and stuff, the acrobatics that we do vocally, voices aren't really designed for that. We find ways to produce that stuff, but it's not necessarily organic.
Yeah.
Like it's you know. But my favorite story with that was one time I went in there. I remember the movie The Emperor's New Groove. You probably worked on it.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't.
Disney. Well, you worked on all the other ones.
Yeah, that's right.
So I worked on that movie, and they hired me. The title song was for Tom Jones to sing. It was a song called "Perfect World." And they had me go in the studio to sing it like Tom Jones to play for Tom Jones, so he could hear it. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, you know.
No, so to teach him how to do it.
Well, to show
There you
him,
go.
to
Show him
show him how to
here's
do it.
how you
to
should do
display
it.
how he might do it.
Yes.
You know, he's great. So I went in there, and Tom Jones, you know, man,
That voice is really big and low, and it's like
Oh,
this,
yeah,
man. You know, you
yeah.
got to sing full out.
when you're doing Tom Jones.
Well,
Yeah, exactly. You know, she's a lady, you know, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
in there, you know, and I'm singing this thing, and I happen to get one of those producers, and I know you've worked with these guys, who are like, "That was fantastic. Let's do another one. That was fantastic.
yeah,
Let's do
let's
another."
do
And you're
another
kind of going,
Yeah.
"That was fantastic.
What should I do different?
So I did it for like 2.5 hours, right? So I sang
Right.
this thing, and by the time I left, I was like, "Oh my gosh, my voice is so bad."
Oh,
you know,
God.
it was really messed up.
Yeah.
So I go the next day to see Cantor, and he looks at me and he goes, "Man," he goes, your chords look like raw meat. He goes, "What the hell were you doing?" I said, I was singing like Tom Jones for 2.5 hours yesterday. And he goes, "Really? He's in the next room." Right?
Oh,
and I go,
man.
"No kidding." And he goes, "Yeah, you want to meet him?"
How's his voice?
Yeah, of course I want to
Yeah,
meet him. So get it.
yeah.
I walk in there, and there's Tom Jones sitting on the thing, just like we all do at the doctor, but it's Tom Jones, and he's sitting there. And my doctor says, "Hey, Tom, this is Jess Harnell. He's a singer too. I wanted to introduce you guys." And he said, "Good to meet you. Hi, how are you?" And I said, "Great, man." And I said, "Big fan. Love your work." And my doc goes, "Hey, tell him how you got messed up."
Oh boy.
And I go, "Well,
Well.
I said, since you asked, I was singing like you for 2.5 hours." And you know what he did, Jim? He looks at me and he goes, "Well then, you can imagine how I bloody feel." Because he's been singing like that.
He's been singing like him for a long time. Oh my God.
True story, man.
That's great.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
That is great stuff.
Well, don't you find that the music thing helped you out with voiceover immeasurably?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Because you hear melody, and pitches. And
I think, yeah, and I was into business for a long time before it even occurred to me, but everything. I mean, the lines are music.
Yeah.
What the heck are you doing in here?
Exactly.
That's
exactly right, man.
I always think of it as a saxophone. For
Yeah,
some reason.
me too. See what I mean?
Yeah.
This is why we get along.
Yeah,
Well, no, I think in that I know that voice movie that we did a bunch of years back with Johnny DiMaggio.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of made the point of like, even with impressions, sometimes like when you do voices and you find the music goes up and down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and you kind of go, and if you followed it on a sheet, you'd be going making little arrows and
yeah,
stuff. Like
that's
you hear
true.
me do that at home all the time. Taking
Yeah.
stuff apart,
Yeah.
kind of figuring out how it works. Right?
Yeah.
Wait, on the subject of impressions, I just want to interrupt really quick.
Wow,
Yeah.
listen to your voice, dude. Go ahead. God, is that you?
Yeah.
Sorry. Go, man.
No, we like to do this thing on this show where we trade character voices.
Oh, good.
So
okay.
Jim will deliver a line in one of his character voices, and then you say it in one of your character voices, and vice versa. Is
I
that
love
making sense?
Yeah, I love
Oh,
that.
I love that.
Okay.
And by the way,
Yeah.
I watched a little bit, so I know this.
Okay,
game.
okay.
This is cool.
Alrighty.
All right, so what do you want to do, man?
So shall we start? I'll give you one of my characters.
Yeah.
In voice and hopefully in script.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Okay, now who do you want me to do it as? Anybody I choose?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it like Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, okay.
That'd be
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
You never heard one of them before, did you?
No.
See?
Does he do books on tape?
It was the best of times.
And you're like, and that, you know what's funny that I just realized when you did that? See, voices are like equations, man. And it's like this, Crash Bandicoot, which is one step away from Eric Cartman, which is,
Hey, you guys, I'm going to be Eric Cartman, you guys.
so that's the same thing.
yeah.
And that is a step away from Hervé Villechaize, which is,
Hey, boss, get pain.
they're all this.
Oh, my God.
You see? Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
Boom, dude. Okay, now I'm going to give you
Oof.
one. All right?
Okay, yes.
All right. I want you to do it as Pooh.
Okay.
And I want you to say,
Oh, God, here we go.
okay, I want you to say, potty emergency. I've got to potty, potty, potty.
I love this cartoon, by the way.
Thank you, man. You can relate to it.
I can.
Me too.
Potty emergency. I've got to potty, potty, potty.
All right, I can leave now. All right, that's it. I don't need to. I just.
But it wasn't Pooh Hefner.
It did no. If you were single, it would have been.
would-
Good night,
yeah.
everybody.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I can't. That was funny.
I love that, man.
Well, don't forget to remember to keep on bouncing.
Okay. Let's do that one. Let's do that one like Ironhide from Transformers.
Yes.
Okay. Say the line one more time.
Don't forget to remember to keep on bouncing.
Don't forget to remember to keep on bouncing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got resonance.
Or
for
else.
days.
That was me imitating Chris if he was British.
Yeah.
Here's a question, Jim.
Oh, here's one now.
Why are there so many British things in space? For instance, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm not an aficionado on this stuff like I'm sure a lot of you guys are, so forgive me if my facts are wrong. Obi-Wan Kenobi was on a planet called Tatooine where he met Luke Skywalker. Why was he a British guy?
We get around.
I guess, right? Why when I did Ironhide, by the way, why is he a British robot? He's a robot. He's from another planet.
Yeah.
And he's like, they go, no, do British. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
If you say so.
I mean, after all, everybody on Saturn is British.
Right. I bet you've done a lot of British space people.
Yeah, that's true.
See?
Well, I actually developed a mini thought about that, very small thought.
Tell me.
And it was that if we do, you do an Aussie accent.
Yeah.
Canadian's not that distinct, but British and then Liverpool, forget about
Yeah,
it. You
it's
know,
the best.
But it sounds a little foreign,
Yeah.
but you can still understand what they're saying.
Bingo. Much like travel.
Yeah.
That's why I like to go to
Jimmy
England.
can understand me.
Well, that's because he doesn't live with you.
I'm sorry. Did you say something?
The first time she came to my
No,
house.
no,
Yeah.
no,
First
no.
time she came to visit me, bro, I was down. I was so happy
This is so
I dug
embarrassing.
her so much, man. And I'm down in my office, and she's up she can take a shower up in the
gonna
bathroom.
hide behind this.
And I'm sitting there in the office with my little kitten, and he's purring on the desk, and I'm thinking, what a beautiful day. Got this wonderful girl, you know. And I hear this sound from across the house.
This is true.
And
by the way.
and the sound went like this.
True.
And I'm like, the hell was that? And I thought maybe it's like a set of bad brakes on a car, or there's something in the heating system in the four stairs. So I'm like, so the cat's ears go up and quiet, right, exactly. Thank you. So I take a few steps. I'm looking around for her. I'm like, the hell is that? Get a little closer. I'm on the stairs now, and I hear. I'm like, what the hell? Finally get in the bathroom. She goes, I don't know how to turn the hot water on. I'm like, okay, I got you, Ozzy. And we just turned it right on. Because she didn't know how to turn on the hot water.
The shower in our bathroom is complicated. Okay?
Oh wow.
You know, as they are.
Yeah.
As they can be, Jim.
I'm
You
doing nothing to
never
the
know.
plants
He
right
knows.
now, but it is. There's so many things to turn.
Yeah,
right?
well, you know.
Yeah.
And I got confused and I couldn't do it, and I was panicking because it was the first time I was there. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted to
Yeah.
make a good impression. I couldn't work the shower.
She could work the plumbing.
But when I get overexcited, I tend to go quite high.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's like
Well,
Ozzy Osbourne on helium, basically.
Oh, gosh.
That's the
It
way.
just comes out.
That's
so
kind of how to
that
imitate
happened.
you, I think. Is to
So
do
have you
Ozzy.
learned how to work his plumbing?
Yeah, it's better than.
Very
Good night,
well.
everybody. God,
Very
I
well.
see-
But,
listen, I should have known. See, this is what I mean, folks. You know,
See?
this is not your usual.
I don't know,
This
let's
is.
ask him.
You
Can I
only-
work your plumbing?
Oh my God!
Oh,
Good,
okay.
good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Hey,
It's
waka,
getting
waka,
hot in
waka.
here. Okay,
Shuffling off.
that's
the
Jim's got the moves. Man.
Oh yeah.
You should have known that.
They're really sad. Really sad, pathetic moves.
Oh God.
Oh man. But you know, we have so many cool stories and,
Yeah, we
and
do.
things. You know, one of my favorites is that you used to have. I don't think you still have this illustrious neighbor.
Oh
that
God.
you used to have.
Yeah, man, I still do.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Oh boy.
And I don't know. You know what? It's gone around before, so it's not really the end of the world. But
Yeah.
For the longest time, my neighbor, who he's referring to, is William Shatner.
Yeah.
And for like years and years and years, he's thought I was Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Yeah. There
Which
you
is-
go.
which is pretty awesome.
That's what I was looking for.
Especially because I don't look anything like Gene
Nothing
Simmons
at
of
all.
Kiss. But I think in his
But-
mind, Jim, I think in his mind, he's like, anybody that looks like me that can live on his street has to be in Kiss.
Gotta be doing something.
there can
gotta
be,
be doing something
there
right.
can be no other
You're
explanation.
banging so hard, you're living next door to Shatner.
Yeah.
Something's up.
Something's got to be
Something's
happening
up.
there,
You
right?
got
Yeah.
the Gene tongue though.
I do have the Gene tongue. Yeah, I can do the Gene tongue thing.
Well.
That's just. Yeah. Now, see, I don't know how this keeps going there. Listen, it's not
Sorry,
me.
should I
It's them.
leave? Should we go?
It's them, dude.
Should we leave?
Listen, appearances aside, I'm very chill about these things, but it keeps coming up.
Yeah.
Just saying. And there's another one. Good night, everybody. God.
See, you're doing it now.
Now you got to me. You finally
Yeah,
wore me down. No, but yeah, he the famous encounter, which
Yes.
I think you might be alluding to, because
Yes, I am.
Oh God! And this was shortly after Jim. You know, I've lived in that house, bro, since
Yeah, you've been there a
98,
while.
bro.
Yeah, you've been there
Oh
a
my
long
God,
time.
25 years.
I remember.
Chris hasn't come over once, dude. Don't think I haven't noticed.
Yeah.
Am I invited?
Yeah, of course, man.
I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, and when you ring the buzzer, you just got to use that great voice of yours, and I'll say, "Come on upstairs." Anyway, my neighbor, I used to have this neighbor, and he didn't sleep. All he did was walk around the neighborhood with a pit bull and a gun, because he was a Vietnam War vet, and it was this long story. He had a plate in his head. He was fantastic.
Wow.
But Shatner, I ran into Rich, my neighbor, and he goes, "Hey Jesse, I just wanted to tell you." He goes, "I ran into Shatner." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I told him you weren't Kiss." And I said, "Why did you do that?" And he goes, "Because he asked me if you weren't Kiss. I thought it'd be funny." Right? And he didn't have like his, and this guy had no sense of humor. Right? So I
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
thought,
yeah.
well, way to go, man.
Sure, why
Way to
not?
go. So he told
There
him
are
I was in
worse
Kiss.
things.
Right. So I'm getting the mail one day, and I'm at the mailbox. It's like 2 weeks later, and I'm going through the mail, and I have my back to the street. And I hear this car pull up in my peripheral hearing,
Yes.
which, you know, is a valuable thing to have. And I hear this voice go, Gene, right? And I didn't turn around because that's not my name, right?
Yeah,
So I keep going through and he goes, Gene. And I turn around and there's Shatner and he's sitting there in a Land Rover. And I go, oh, hey, dude. I go, what's going on? He goes, good. He goes, I'm good. He goes, do you have a second? And I said, yeah. So I walk over to his car and he puts his hand on and he goes, I'm Bill. And I said, yeah, I know you're Bill, man. I
Yes,
know
you
that.
are.
And he goes, uh-huh. He goes, so you enjoying your house? And I said, yeah, very much, man. I really like it. Now, you got to know, quick sidebar, our house is crazy.
It looks like a rocket ship.
Yeah, it looks like a spaceship. It's really weird. It's like
Landed.
one of the most
Yeah.
unusual houses in America, which is
It is.
totally the reason I got it in the first place.
And it's so freaking cool.
It is very, very cool. And he would know
Gorgeous,
because he's
gorgeous.
he's perpetually invited to everything we do. So he's been there several
Yeah.
times. So in any event, so he goes, so you enjoying your house? And I said, yeah, very much. Now this is the only time in the encounter where he became Captain Kirk.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
a lot of us who do what we do
Oh,
imitate William Shatner, but everybody is Captain Kirk. He doesn't really talk like that.
Yeah.
He talks. He's just very conversational. It's kind of low key. It's like,
Yeah,
how are you? It's
that's
good to
true.
see you. It's nice to
Yeah,
see you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, right. But at this next line, he turned into Captain Kirk. He goes, "So you enjoying your house?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he goes, "It's an unusual home." Like that, right. And in that moment, I was like, "Oh, there it is. That's cool. I like that, man. I like that." And I go, "Yeah, man. It's cool." I said, "That's why I bought it because it's different. It's unique."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Uh-huh." And he goes, "Listen, Gene, there's something I've been dying to ask you." And I said, "Okay, what do you got?" Word for word, dude. Because I've told this story ever
yeah.
since it happened, so I know. And even
it's
just this
blazoned
sentence.
in your head.
Yeah, man. Because nobody else but him ever said this sentence except Frank Sinatra, and that was in like 1962.
Yeah.
He goes, when you go out on the concert tour, there must be broads like crazy. Broads like crazy, dude. Okay,
Broads
so
like
I was like, that's first of all, I thought, well, that's pretty good.
That's a t-shirt.
You don't hear that all the time. So I go, yeah, man, it can get pretty crazy.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it gets nuts. That's true.
Well, Pooh Hefner would know.
Pooh Hefner would
Yeah.
know. He wrote the book. I studied under him. So he goes, broads like, I said, yeah, it gets pretty crazy. Now this part was weird because what happened, dude? Jimmy, he was a little closer. He was probably where Cara is.
Yeah.
You're me. He's in the car seated. I'm standing outside the car. The window's down. He's kind of leaning in. For about 8 seconds after I agreed with him that yes, it was crazy.
Yeah.
All he did was stare into my eyes. It's kind of slack-jawed for like 8 seconds. Now, I won't do it to you now, and you don't think that sounds long, but try it sometime you're talking to
It's
just
a
kind
long
of
time.
stare at them like for 8 seconds. And after 8 seconds, he goes, God, that's hot.
Yeah.
And I go,
And zoomed.
and my skin,
love that stuff.
it's great, man. My skin kind of shrunk a little bit because it was creepy. And I go, yeah, man, it's hot. He goes, okay, gotta go. And he took off. And I think the reason he took off so fast and went home is because he wanted to go home and contemplate this idea of me in a Gene Simmons costume surrounded by women on the road. So he got that image fresh in his mind. I think that's where he was coming from.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. He is so. What a gem.
Yeah, he is a gem. He's still out there doing it,
And what
man.
a gem of a story. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you know he's like 93, bro.
Is he 93?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought he was around 90.
And he does the cons. He's out there still, and people love him, and they want to meet him.
And he's
everything.
moving.
Sure.
Yeah,
He's moving.
yeah, he really is,
He's
man.
moving when he drives too.
Yeah, he
He drives like a nut.
he does drive like a nut. He's practically hit us a few times, and it's never his fault.
Yeah, and it's never his fault.
It's never his fault.
You were in his road.
You know what? It's his road. We're just using it, man.
I remember. Was I with you? I think we were at your house or something, and we're up at the lake. Isn't there a lake up there? Lake something up in the hills.
There is not terribly close to me, but I
yeah.
think I know what you're talking about.
But it was anyway, and I cannot for the life of me remember what we were doing there.
I can't either.
But it was a long time ago, and they had locked the gate.
Yeah.
So they had essentially locked the joggers inside.
Inside, yeah.
Inside the damn thing, and we're standing there, and all of a sudden, up comes Shatner, and he shats on up.
He got his shots on. Yeah.
And he comes. then he just shatters away.
I know what you're talking about now.
And that was
Oh, God. Oh, it's funny. I mean, dude, I could do this. Like, we could exchange these stories all day. I mean, one of the fun things.
I like it. I feel like it was that night when we were all at dinner. It's just like.
Oh,
that
yeah.
again.
Well, we just went.
It's
This
like
was
that
great.
again.
We
That
went-
was an amazing night, by the way.
We went to the Russian tea room
so
in New York when we were just in
Yes.
New York at their great ComicCon, and Jimmy and Peggy and Cara and myself went to the Russian tea room, which is a historic site. And
Very cool.
we befriended the manager, as we are wont to
Yes.
do, because as soon as they find out you're sitting with Pooh Hefner, they want to show you stuff.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and they took us upstairs where they used to kill people. So
Oh my God.
that was kind of cool, right?
we had that going for us.
Because, you know,
And you know what I thought was interesting? Everything was red.
everything was red.
Everything.
So they
And it
didn't
kept
have
going
to-
up.
They clean up the blood. Yeah, it was
Much-
all right.
just one less thing to worry
Because
about.
you just had the sense being in there that there was a lot of. So listen, we got to talk about this problem we're currently
Yeah,
having,
that's right,
You know what I mean? We
that's
got to do
right.
something. Let's go upstairs. We want to show you something.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
next thing you know,
It
you're.
kept going up and up.
Yeah.
There was like an upstairs.
Yeah.
And then there was another upstairs. And then, yeah. it
No,
just-
but in seriousness, all kidding aside, what was amazing about that is that we did meet the manager, and he couldn't have been kinder, and he showed
Yeah.
us around this beautiful restaurant. And I remember being in there and looking at these incredible rooms, you guys, that are not necessarily the room that you sit in when you go there. I think you have to specially reserve them. And I was thinking about what an amazing life experience that was, and how blessed I felt and feel to have shared that not only with you but with you
Yeah,
and the lady,
oh,
man.
same here.
Because we've had
was
a list
really
of those
cool.
now, you know, and this is the latest one. You know,
Yeah.
in a year or two, you know, I'll turn to you and I'll go, man, wasn't that a gas when we did your podcast that day?
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
fun, you know.
And the answer will be yes.
The answer, and it's nice that we know it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
buddy.
agree.
It's very
I
cool.
agree. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course, man. Are you kidding, dude? You call, I
Yeah.
answer.
Oh, well, same to you.
Thanks, buddy.
Same to you.
Thanks, man. Well, you know, Jim is my pool man. And
That's right. That's right.
He goes out once a week, and you know, lately
I
there's been
run a mean skimmer.
there's a couple extra leaves up there, Mr. C. I
Ah,
gotta
well,
tell you.
not for long, mister. Not for long. In fact, that's it. I'm leaving right now. Got to go.
I think he
But,
is, because you're going to go entertain the folks. At
But I
another
am
one of these.
actually, Dan, actually, I should go. Yeah.
I don't want to cut you. If
yeah,
we don't
we're
have to
going
cut short, I don't want to cut. But
Well,
I'm just looking
I don't
want
to cut it short either.
Yeah, me neither.
But we
See-
do have to get on a plane.
Yeah, we got to get on a plane. There's that.
Yeah, so. But thank you very, very much.
Dude.
Yeah, just
Take your
before we
time
go,
out.
is there anything you'd like to plug? Any
Yeah.
Oh,
places
that's
we
very
can find-
kind of you.
yeah.
That's very kind of you. Let's see. Yeah, check it out. So as far as the necessity of doing plugging, check out Rock Sugar on YouTube when you can. If you like 80s music, you won't be disappointed. Also, you know, we have these long lists behind us of the things that we've worked on that are amazing. Something I'm working on currently that's really fun is this Disney Junior show called Firebuds. No, work on Firebuds too, and that's a gas. The one I'm thinking about is Robo Gobo. Robo Gobo. And the reason this show is so fun for me is because I think they kind of designed this character for me, Jim, which I know they've done for you many times. But it's a character named Monkey Wrench, and he's basically like me, but even more Steven Tylered out. So he's just he's this rock and roll monkey villain who just
that's
screams
great.
constantly and has a guitar that he shoots rays out of and stuff like that.
Oh, that's
so,
cool.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. One other thing I would love to plug is that Cara and I have started this little Instagram channel. It's not a podcast like this one. It's more a source of, I noticed, you know, Jim, you do cameos all the time, I'm sure. Cameos are great because you can say hi to people and send messages for birthdays and things. But because of the interactions that we have with these people out on the road, where we try to encourage them and talk to them a little bit about what's happening or whatever, a lot of my cameos were requests for advice, not that I'm qualified to give any. Because let's face it, I'm not Dr. Phil, Jim.
Hey.
I'm just me doing my thing, you know.
That's
But they asked me for advice, or they asked me for a pep talk or something. And I said to Cara, I said, you know what we could do? We could sporadically make little videos, again, with no qualifications behind them, but just years of living and years of learning about things that might be valuable to people, just as a nice thing to do. So that's all it is. It's called Harnell-a-Vision. It's on Instagram. So in the face of all the negative stuff that we get faced with every day on the news, and we hear more and more of it every day, and I know you feel the same way I do about it, it's just a place you can go for 2-3 minutes, and each thing has a little message, and here's what this one's about, and here's what this one's about, and it exists for no other reason than to hopefully make people feel a little bit better for a minute. So check out Harnell-a-Vision. It's
That's
pretty
awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks, bro. There you go. Harnell-a-Vision.
That's a no.
Oh, and it's Harnellevision. Yeah, so I can spell.
There we go. He's not just a pretty.
No, man. And neither is she.
Oh, gosh.
And neither is he.
That's right.
And one more thing to plug, and that's the greatness of that guy right there. 'Cause
okay.
You guys don't need me to say it, but I'm telling you the truth. It's like if you only love the characters, and I know that's the only chance a lot of us get is through the characters, you're only getting half the picture because that guy right there is the real deal.
Oh,
And
well,
that's
God
a fact.
bless.
I mean it.
Oh, right back at you.
Yeah,
That sounds so
Aw.
lame to say.
Yeah, we love you, Jim. And
Well,
Peggy. We
bless you.
love Peggy.
Yeah, we
too.
love Peggy too.
Yes.
Peggy.
She's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her good-looking kid.
And her good-looking son.
How
That's
about
right.
that? And he's only 12. It's
Yeah,
amazing,
that's
man.
right.
It's only 12. Anyway, thanks, guys, so
Thank
very
you.
much. Thanks for
Yeah, thank
watching.
you.
Support this podcast. It rocks.
Jess and Cara Harnell.
Indeed, all the way. Woohoo!
Jim Cummings.
Aggie, Aggie.
Aggie.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Cleveland.
All right, thank you very much for watching. That was another episode of Tuned In with Jim Cummings. Today we were joined by Jess and Cara Harnell.
Woohoo!
Today we were joined by Jess and Cara Harnell.
You gotta save that. You gotta save that. See, that's the stuff people want to see, bro.
Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to us. And of course, you can find bonus content on Patreon, and you can listen to us anywhere where you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Once again, Jess and Cara Harnell.
We love Jim Cummings. Wow, 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 wow.
Hey, thank you so
You guys.
Oh, that was fun.
I usually never screw that up. You guys got me all nervous.
That was amazing, bro.